Hello everyone, welcome to the TSS. In this class, we will discuss about the Pandas panel data structure, which is a three-dimensional data structure, friends. In the earlier classes, we already saw the series and data frame, and in this class, we will see the panel. Okay, so even though data frame is a very famous uh, tabular fashion data structure, which is heavily used in data science projects and machine learning and for scientific purposes. And panel, it's a three-dimensional data structure. It's not that much frequently used as in the when compared to data frame. Panel is very, its use in real time scenarios is very low. Anyway, for the purpose of knowing this data structure, we will discuss this panel. Okay, and in the further classes we will focus mainly on the data frame manipulations, data analysis, everything we will discuss about the data frame only, because data frame is the very frequently used data structure in all the data science projects, friends. So let us know about the pandas panel in this class. Okay, let's jump into the topic. What is the pandas panel? A pandas panel is a 3D container of data. 3D container of data means it has three dimensions of data. So you have to highly imagine the data in the format of 3D. So because what we are showing in these uh, PowerPoints, everything is a only a 2D view, and you need to imagine in the 3D dimensions in order to understand the panel, and it is very tough to understand. No problem, we are not going to use this panel data structure uh, widely. We are using only data frame, so no problem. The term panel data is derived from econometrics and hence the name pandas. And this is the panel data. From this panel data, we had extracted the name pandas. It seems it was told that pandas, the name pandas was extracted from the name panel data, which is an econometrics term. And in this panel, we have three dimensions, and the three dimensions will consist in the form of three axes, friends. So axis 0 deals with the items. Axis 1 deals with major axis, is called major axis, and axis 2 is called minor axis. So let us discuss one by one. Axis 0 represents the items. What items means? The data frames. The data frames that consists inside the panel. So this is axis 0. And the axis 1 represents the major axis. Major axis denotes the rows of each data frame. So axis 0 consists of data frames, number of data frames. In that, axis 1 represents the rows of each data frame, and axis 2 represents the minor axis, which represents the columns of each data frame. Okay, then move on. Then okay, how to create pandas panel then? So pandas panel can be created by using the method pandas.panel. P is a capital letter, you have to note it, pandas.panel, and this method takes these arguments: data, items, major axis, minor axis, dtype and copy. And we will discuss each arguments one by one, each parameters. So data may be the numpy array or series or lists or dictionaries or constants are also another data frame. It may consist of another data frame also. So by passing the ND array or series or lists or dictionaries or constants or another data frame, we will convert that series into a panel. And the items is axis 0, major axis and minor axis, and the data type we already saw that data type of each column. If it doesn't give, it will infer automatically. And copy also, for copied data default it is false. And so if it doesn't give this items major axis minor axis, it will automatically give the defaults. By defaults it will take defaults. Okay, let us see one example so that it will be understand, because it is not a single dimensional data structure or two dimensional data structure, it's a three dimensional data structure. So that chances of getting confusion is very high in understanding the pandas panel data type. So let us discuss one example so that it will be clear to you. A simple example I am giving. So let's take some random numbers here. So in the NumPy tutorials we had discussed that we had discussed this one, np.random.rand of some numbers. So what it does, what this bit of code does means, in the NumPy tutorials we had discussed. In the random module we have one rand method is there. So what this method will do is, whatever number we have passed to this rand method, so it will output a random float data type numbers it will give, friends. So that, and that is if you give a single number, it will give that number of random numbers. And if you give another number separated by a comma, then it will give say matrix form 2 by 4. That means 2 rows and 4 columns format of floating numbers it will give. And the if you give the another parameter as a number 4, it will give 2 by 4 matrices. How many number of times? 4 times it will give different 2 by 4 matrices, friends. So this is somewhat complicated. If you know the NumPy array, if you studied the NumPy array, then it is little bit easy to understand. So let us move to the Jupyter notebook so that it will be understood by you. Let's jump into the Jupyter notebook. Okay, then hello everyone, welcome to the TSS. In this class we will discuss about the pandas panel. Okay, in the earlier classes we had already saw the pandas series and pandas data frame. So in this class we will discuss about pandas panel, which is another type of data structure, three-dimensional data structure. Series is a one-dimensional data structure, and data frame is a two-dimensional data structure. It's in the form of tables. We already saw that. Data frame is a famous data structure in use in all the data science projects and machine learning projects. and panel is not that much in use when compared to the data frame. So even though it is not that much use, let us discuss the basics of panel, friends. So Pandas panel is a 3D container of data. That means it has 3 dimensions. So the term panel data is derived from econometrics. So it is said that Pandas, the name Pandas was derived from the term panel data, friends. Okay, so it has 3 axes. Generally, for 2 dimensions, we already know we have 2 axes, axis 0 and axis 1. That means columns and rows. But it is a 3 dimensional data structure. So one more axis will come. That means axis 0, axis 1, axis 2. Let us discuss what this axis represents. So axis 0 represents items. So items of data frame. Actually, items means it represents the data frames inside the panel. Okay, so you need to be highly imagine and to understand this panel, friends, because this is a 3 dimensional. You need to visualize that. And then axis 1 represents the major axis, and it represents the rows of each data frames. So items represents the data frames inside the panel, and axis 1 represents the index of index means what, row labels of each data frame that consists inside the panel. And minor axis, that is axis 2, represents the column of each data frame inside the panel, friends. Okay, so then how to create the panel? The panel will be created with the method called pandas.panel. The P is capital letters here, and you need to pass these arguments. Okay, so data is a mandatory argument, friends, mandatory parameter. It will take nd array or series or lists or lists or constants or another data frame. So by passing these different types of data sequences, panel will be formed. We will create a panel. So these are the items. So these are, if it doesn't give this one, it will make it to defaults, friends. And let us see one example so that it will be understood by you. So here we are passing the data to the panel method. What type of data? That means numpy array type of data we are passing. Here this bit of code I had discussed it in numpy tutorials. Okay, if you understand that numpy tutorials, then it will be easy here. Okay, so let's discuss this. np.random.rand means in the random module, one rand method is available. That random is available in numpy package. So rand method, what rand method will do is it will output the random numbers, random floating data type numbers. It will output to the user by taking the arguments. If you provide some 2 here, only 2, then it will provide only 2 random float numbers. And if you give another argument here 2 comma 4, it will give 2 by 4 matrix, 2 by 4 order matrix of floating numbers it will provide. And if you give one more argument here, then it will give 2 by 4 matrices. How many number of times means 4 times. 4 2 by 4 matrices, different 2 by 4 matrices will be provided. So let's jump into the Jupyter notebook and then just visualize this one. Okay, so that it will be understand. Here it is difficult to understand. Let's move it to Jupyter notebook. So let me erase all this one. Okay, then see some data we are taking np dot random dot rand of, say, let's, for the sake of understanding, let's say, for suppose say I am giving it as 3 and run. Let us see what data contains. Here it has given 3 float numbers because I have given 3. I have given 3 because I want 3 numbers, so that I had given 3. And what if I will give some other, say some 4. This time I doesn't give the data, I will directly give, so that it will directly display the output. Here the 3 and 4, now it represents 3 rows and 4 columns, that is 3 by 4 matrix array. So 1 2 3 4, 4 columns and 3 rows, 1 2 3. Okay, 3 by 4 matrix has formed. Okay, so here you see this is a nested list, a list of a list. Okay, then this is the difference. And now I will give the third parameter also, say some 3. The 3 represents what means it will provide 3 by 4 matrix of arrays 3 times. Okay, 3 different times, 3 different 3 by 4 matrices. Here you can see now this is one 3 by 4 matrix of array, and this is second 3 by 4 matrix of array, and this is third 3 by 4 matrix of array. So that 3 by 4 matrices arrays was formed. Okay, now what we are going to, what is the objective? We need to create a panel out of it. Panel means you can visualize this one, you visualize it as a data frame, because this is also is having columns and rows. So this is a row, this is row, this is row, this is row, and this is column column. Okay, 4 by 3. Okay, this is a 4 by 3, 4 by 3, because 4 into 4 comma 3 we had given 4 rows and 3 columns. It has came, okay, of what, of 3. Okay, so if you want to 5, then see. Okay, so 5 came up, that means 4 rows 5 columns and the number is 3, that means 3 matrices is formed. Okay, so this is 4 rows of, you have to imagine this first matrix as a data frame. Okay, we can create a data frame out of it, no? Okay, so a data frame consists of rows. How many rows? 4 rows and 5 columns are there. Okay, and it is an another data frame, it is an another data frame. Okay, let's create a panel out of it. Okay, pd dot panel of, I can pass this one directly here. Okay, so and I will pass it to the, store it to the variable called x, and then let us type the x. Here you can see now this is the object, what type of data is available inside the x. It is displaying pandas.core.panel.panel. It is a panel, 3-dimensional data. So dimensions it has given, see friends, dimensions. So this is axis 0, axis 1, axis 2. Okay, so as we had discussed earlier, axis 0 represents items. How many items? This is 3 items. 1 first item, second item, third item. Items means what? The data frame. So this is one data frame, and this is another data frame, and this is another data frame. Okay, that is the part of axis 0. And axis 1. Axis 1 means major axis. So, and we had discussed earlier, major axis or axis 1 represents the index number of each data frame. So, totally there are 3 data frames, and those 3 data frames is having 4 rows of each. Okay, and then the 5 minor axis means axis 2 represents the column numbers of each data frame. So each data frame is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 columns. So this is the idea behind that one. 3 dimensions. And then here you see item axis. Item axis means how many items are there. 0 to 2, because it's always count from 0. 0, 0th item, first item, second item. So 0 to 2. Major axis 0 to 3, because it always comes from 0, because it is 4, 0 to 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. And the minor axis 0 to 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the idea of Pandas panel, friends, of creating Pandas panel. Okay, so even though it is not much used, we out of knowing, we saw this example. Anyway, data frame is very much in use in the coming sessions, coming classes. We will discuss about the data frame very much, friends, because data frame is very important in all the data science projects and machine learning projects. Data cleaning, data processing, data analysis, okay, data visualization, every in every concept, data frame is the basic data structure, friends. Okay, so with this the panel example is over, and in the next class we will discuss some more topics, friends. Till then, bye bye. Yours Veera signing off.